Lancers soccer is on the air. WOKR Channel 13 is proud to present tonight's game live via satellite from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, between the Rochester Lancers and the Minnesota Kicks. Tonight's game is brought to you by Budweiser.
The King of Beers presents the King of Sports. So now sit back and enjoy soccer at its best. Brought to you by Budweiser.
And by the RT French Company, the Rochester-based company that makes French's mustard, the kind that outsells all others combined. French's mustard, spread a little sunshine. And by Security Trust, nearest your needs at 35 neighborhood locations. And by Mr. Steak, America's steak expert in Greece, Henrietta, and Irondequoit. Mr. Steak for a fancy restaurant dinner without the fancy price.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, live from Bloomington, Minnesota. Jack Palvino along with Ron DeFrance and Chuck Schiano as our Rochester Lancers, scrambling for a playoff spot, take on the Minnesota Kicks, scrambling to keep their three-point lead in first place in their division. On this beautiful green countryside, somewhat similar to our own upstate New York, dotted with beautiful lakes, where they average more people than our stadium holds, 30,000 per game, and we have 30,000 here tonight. We expect one whale of a game, and to describe it, we'll go up top, and I do mean up, to Chuck Schiano and Ron DeFrance.
Thank you very much, Jack. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ron DeFrance along with Charley Schiano. And Charley, the Lancers in the midst of a tough schedule. This is the second of 3 straight division leading clubs.
Yeah, and Minnesota is really hot. They're in first place. They want to stay in first place. It looks like just a tremendous game tonight. The Lancers, this is a must-win game for the Lancers.
Okay. We're going to have those starting lineups for everybody, Charley. But first, we're going to pause for these messages and be right back.
Here comes the king, here comes the big number one. Budweiser beer, the king is second to none. Just say Budweiser, you've said it all. Here comes the king of beer, so lift your glass, let's hear the call. Budweiser beer's the one that's leading the rest. When you say Bud, and Beechwood aging makes it beer at its best. When you say Bud, one taste will tell you so loud and clear. There's only one Budweiser beer. There's only one Budweiser beer. When you say Bud, there's nothing left you can say. When you say Bud, the king is right on his way. When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all.
Smile. Everyone's talking about Kodak's new Color Burst, the low-priced motorized instant camera that gives you what no other instant camera can. Bright, brilliant, bursting color by Kodak. I'll prove it. From bright whites to reds, greens, yellows, whatever. There's your proof. New Color Burst cameras. After all, isn't color the way to choose an instant camera? Color Burst, new instant cameras from Kodak.
We got the tempo of the people, by the people, for the Rochester people. We got the music, got the feeling, got the spirit of the Rochester people. 1500 Rochester, 3WG.
crowd on hand here at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Let's check the lineups for the visiting Lancers. In goal tonight, it'll be Reyes Filar with a 1.40 goals against average. 2 shutouts so far this season. On the back line at left half, number 2 will be Don Draghi, the stopper. It'll be Nick Mijanovic, number 5, alongside Miriam Foslich, number 4. And at right half, it'll be number 6, Hugh Nicolini. At midfield, it'll be number 14, Harry Palmieri, number 8, Joe Horvath, and number 20, Val Trifunovic. And up front for the Lancers, it'll be number 12, Lancer captain Jim Polligan, number 22, Julio Belon, and number 15, Pat Erkely.
Well, I'll tell you, Ron. Go ahead.
Tell me in a second.
I wanted to
because
tell
we're
you.
all set for the kickoff, and we'll have it right after these messages.
July is Independence Month at Love's, and for you that means big savings on a store full of fine furniture. First, choose the sofa, love seat, or chair you like, over 200 styles to choose from. And second, choose from over 100 of your favorite fashion fabrics and save $50 on chairs, $75 on love seats, and $100 on sofas. Now that's freedom of choice. Pick your day, your style, your fabric, and save at Love's Independence Month sale.
All right, back at Metropolitan Stadium, all set for the kickoff between the Rochester Lancers and the Minnesota Kicks.
Look for Julio Belon and Eric Lee to be playing for the counterattack in this game. They'll play up. I would suspect that Dragan Popovich will try and play his own, suck him in, then go for the counterattack. That looks like what he'll try and do here in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Okay, Charlie, we're underway. The Lancers kick off. Lancers have possession. Over to Erkely. Erkely over to the 35-yard line. There's his Belon. Belon with the ball. Belon moving in. Oh, look at the move. Belon still going, but kicked away. Trifunovic keeps it alive. Over to Horvath, but just a little bit over his head. And it's broken up by Trifunovic again, and Draghi has it. Lancers remain with possession of the ball. And it's intercepted by the Kicks. There's a long pass, but Mijanovic is right there to grab it. And gets it over to Horvath. Here comes Horvath. This is English style of soccer. Nice pass out into the corner to Jimmy Polligan. Couldn't catch up to it. They're marking close.
They will mark very, very close, man-to-man. Jeff Barnett is going to take some time releasing the ball here, try and get the play up. He'll give it a good punt and release it as he kicks it downfield.
All right, Jeff Barnett in goal for Minnesota. On defense, we have Sam Bick, Steve Litt, Ellen Merrick, and Tony Watt. At midfield for Minnesota, Mark Moran, Alan West, Ace Ntsoelengoe, and in forward, Charlie George, Alan Willie. Willie, who has scored 17 goals so far this season for Minnesota, and Willie Morgan. The guys to look out for would be number 11, Ace Ntsoelengoe, and number 10, Alan West. They are the playmakers.
I think what they'll coach Freddie Goodwin will depend on those two players to build up the attack and then to give it to the finishers, which will be George, Willie, and Morgan.
Lancers have it now, and they go back, get it set up. This is Foslich. Foslich passes it in, but it's intercepted by Minnesota. And here's Ntsoelengoe, the fellow we were talking about. Ace Ntsoelengoe, number 11.
He's a very favorite player here in Minnesota. They really love him.
This is Willie Morgan. Don Draghi battling Morgan. Don Draghi keeps it in, still in. Morgan has it. Morgan moves in, and it's knocked away by Miriam Foslich. It'll be a corner kick, first for Minnesota.
Well, that's been 2 mistakes so far for Don Draghi. First, the interception. Now this play. I think Coach Don Popovich would have preferred that he just clear that over the touchline. He tried to finesse it and save it, and now he's got a corner kick. And look at this 3-man wall by Minnesota. I've never seen anything like it.
This is Alan West. A header back. And Svilar comes out.
And the linesman says, play on. You caught it and then fell out later.
Goal kick for the Lancers.
I think with Coach Freddie Goodwin, who's been around a long time. Freddie was originally the coach for the New York Generals when the North American Soccer League first started in 1967. He had an unfortunate experience now, but he's back here in Minnesota. Now he's the president, the coach, and just about everything else down here, and they really think very highly of him, and he is a fine coach.
One way to keep your job as coach in this league, Charlie, is to be the president.
Yeah, eliminate all the competition.
That's right. Former soccer player and cricket player, too. Fine soccer player. Lancers have it. Lancers working it around. This is Foslich. Foslich with a little bit of room right now, so give him that space. Long pass into Bailon. Bailon passes over to Ercole. Ercole moving through. Ercole is tripped up. No call. And play on.
Referee is Michael Wirtz, and he's best remembered for the game in which the referee claimed we Lancers were out of the playoff. Here's a play now, and there's a little bit of force that's Ercole just sort of double teamed. 2-on-1 is supposed to be a foul, but it wasn't called.
This is Steve Litt moving way up. Alan West. And Trifunovic gets it away. Broken up there by Tony Watt. Here's a long ball, and Villar comes out, knocks it away, gets it over to Foslich. Foslich brings it back.
Nice play by Villar, who came out and just poked it away. He's a very aggressive goalkeeper, and he's played just magnificent soccer now in the last 3 or 4 games that he's played.
Oh, nice move there by Niccolini. Niccolini gets it over to Bailon. Give and go back to Niccolini. We have Polligan moving in. Here comes Polligan. Polligan gets it around, but he doesn't quite finish it up. Gets it back to Barnett. Barnett will get it out.
Niccolini came all the way from the right fullback position and attacked quite nicely that time.
Here's Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe gets it back to Morgan. Here's Morgan moving in. Don Draghi marking Morgan. Here's Ntsoelengoe breaking over to the right. Ntsoelengoe knocked away by Foslich. Jimmy Polligan gets it over to Palmieri, and Palmieri brings it back. Long pass to Ercole. Broken up by Alan Merrick, captain of the Minnesota Kicks. Battling with Trifunovic. Knocked away by West. And look at Trifunovic battle. Here's Palmieri.
That's his 3rd or 4th sliding tackle so far, and we're still early in the game.
39 left in the first half, just underway. Here's Bailon. And we have a whistle.
They're calling the handball on Bailon. The ball bounced high, and Bailon touched it with his hand.
All right, Minnesota brings it back. This is Litt. Ntsoelengoe. Don Draghi breaks it up.
Yeah, they're calling the offsides, I think, that time. The linesman in the near side of the field nearest us called the offside. It looked like on Ellen Willie at that time.
The field's a little damp. I was down there, and this is the home of the Minnesota Vikings and Twins, you know. We had quite a rain this morning, so Pat Ercole looked a little slower than usual. It's natural grass, plus it's damp.
That'll slow him down a bit.
Niccolini with a long pass, and Jimmy Polligan. That was knocked away. Knocked away by Willie Morgan. Don Draghi with the throw-in for the Lancers.
Number 2 is Draghi.
And we have Palmieri trying to tie his shoes. I think it's still untied. He's still trying to tie him, but play goes on. That's Horvath. Horvath over to Niccolini. Niccolini over the center stripe. Niccolini gets it back to Horvath. Here's Horvath into the danger zone. Horvath with a long shot. It's high. All right, there's 38-20 left in the first half. And Lancer Soccer 78 will continue right after this.
The day is done.
Coming home.
It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say, bud.
Just say bud.
And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Just say bud.
When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Welcome home. When you say Budweiser.
Welcome home.
37:07 left. We have a direct kick. This is Horvath who will take the direct kick.
The players are not 10 yards back.
Referee motioning. Palmieri has it knocked away. Knocked away by 21. It'll be a throw-in for the Lancers. Joe Horvath motioning for something.
I don't know. I really can't understand Hungarian motioning.
Dan Draghi throws it in for the Lancers. Gets it over to Jimmy Polligan. Polligan with a nice header. A little bit too far, though. Try to get it over to Horvath. And it's kept in by Morgan.
I didn't think he could kick that. He has a bandage around that one toe that's bigger than most people's fist. On his left toe, I was noticing.
Is that Joe Horvath?
Yeah.
Of course, he's really purely a left footer. He can use his right foot, but his left foot is such an educated left foot. It's difficult. I know his left ankle is a mess too.
This is Moran. Minnesota has it now. 21, setting it up. Gets it back to the captain, Alan Merrick. Merrick gets it inside. Here's the playmaker. Two playmakers. West over to Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe with a nice pass back to Morgan. We have Bick breaking down on the right-hand side, and a nice shot by Bick, but it's long gone over the goal. With 20 minutes to go in the game, we have Detroit leading San Jose by a score of 5-0. A big game going on tonight will be the Toronto game, Charlie.
Certainly will, and that's one we'll try and watch very closely. And when we get the score, we'll forward it to you. And here's the shot now. And watch the way Silvar plays it. He sees it. Here is penetration, but Svilar sees it's going to go over, so he lets it go, knowing it'll be safe. So he really eyeballed it beautifully.
All right, we're back live now. Minnesota has it. Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe with Moran. Here's George. George gets it inside, but it's broken up by Mijanovic. Here's Horvath. Nice pass to Horvath. Horvath gets it over to Ballone, and Ballone loses possession, and Minnesota comes back with it. That's Moran. Gets it over to Morgan. Morgan back to Moran. Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe in the danger zone. He has Morgan breaking, and a high shot, and a goal!
Beautiful shot by Ntsoelengoe. It caught Silvar out of the goal. He tried to one-hand it, but Ntsoelengoe just saw that Silvar was out of the goal and just lifted it over his head. We have it on the replay. We can watch it now. The ball is being pushed over. There's Ntsoelengoe out deep, just entering the penalty area. Then with his right foot chips it, Villar jumps.
Too early.
Gets a hand on it, but not hard enough, and it just drops under the bar. A magnificent shot by Ace Ntsoelengoe. Beautiful penetration. Lancers now have to really open the game up.
Ntsoelengoe with his 7th goal of the season. Lancers coming back now. Didn't take Minnesota long to score. Here's Palmieri. Palmieri driving in. Palmieri has it broken up. Ercole battling with it. Nice pass. Not quite. Jimmy Polligan tried to get it back to Ercole. And Minnesota has it. Minnesota coming back.
That was just like dynamite, that goal coming. Wasn't that hard a shot, but it was just high enough to get over very nicely the outstretched hands of Silvar. He didn't get a hand on it, but he didn't push it over hard enough.
Well, he came out to cut out the angle, and had he been back further or jumped earlier, he would have stopped it. But the combination is what did it.
10:30, the official time of that goal. Broken up by Horvath, and Svilar comes over and makes the save. Gets over to Nicolini. It'll be a throw-in for the Lancers. It'll be Nicolini with the throw-in. Minnesota leading it 1-0.
That was a foul that time. It looks like Steve Litt. He just took his whole body right into Julio Ballon, knocked him right down, and the referee called the foul.
This is Nicolini. Boslit's breaking in. Here's Nicolini inside, and a nice save by Barnett. Barnett in the crowd reached up and grabbed it. He has the advantage. He can use his hands.
Yeah,
and gets up there.
That extends about 3 feet, Ron. But then a good point was that Julio Ballon was right on him, man-to-man. Here it is now. There we see the cross by Nicolini, and there's Julio Bailon right under him if he drops it, but Jeff Barnett has glue on his fingers tonight.
Back live of Minnesota coming back. Pass inside. Nice play. Here comes Want. Want has it knocked away by Don Draghi. This is Palmieri. Kept in by Minnesota. Ntsoelengoe. And here's Mijanovic. Minnesota still has it. Here comes Want. Want getting ready to center it. Here's the center. Inside. Ntsoelengoe. And Horvath right there.
Oh, he was there. If he wasn't there, it looks like Charlie George would have been there to bang it in.
Long ball down to Bailon. Broken up once again. Don Draghi racing for it. And it's going to be off.
Willie
Minnesota.
Morgan.
Should be off Morgan. It'll be a throw in for the Lancers. 31-06. And Minnesota leading by a score of 1-0. Ace Ntsoelengoe scoring. Assisted by Will Morgan at 10:30. Here comes Mijanovic. They have a play-by-play man in the PA, don't they?
They really do, and he's doing it, the PA guy. Trifunovic is way back here. The middle is just too open right now. They've got to give something in the middle of the field.
Nice header over to Trifunovic. Trifunovic with 3 men around him. Gets it back to Horvath. Whoops, oh, bad pass. Bad pass to George. Here comes George. Passes it over to West. West looking for somebody. Gets it back. Here's Merrick. Merrick with a nice pass. Here's Want. Want with a cross, and it's wide. 30-16 left in the first half. Minnesota leads at 1-0. Lancer Soccer 78 will continue right after this.
When the sun's going down and you've worked up a big summer appetite, it's time for a get-together at Mr. Steak.
Get together with chicken. Get together with Steak America.
It's Mr. Steak's summertime steak and chicken get-together. Tender breast of barbecued chicken and Mr. Steak's famous USDA choice steak.
Served together by America's steak expert.
Get them together at Mr. Steak.
For your convenience, Mr. Steak, Grease, Henrietta, and Irondequoit feature a complete children's menu.
This giant flowering A in the yard of Doc and Katie Abraham is a reminder for you to join us on our next program. We'll be talking about flowers in the yard with Doc and Katie Abraham in Naples, New York. We're on location all this week with Doc and Katie, our Green Thumb friends and experts. So if you'd like to know all about perennials and annuals, well, the place to be, AM Rochester at 10.
Back to Met Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Minnesota leading the Lancers 1-0, 28-59 left in the first half. Minnesota scored at 10:30. Lancers now have to come back. This is Moran. Long ball down to Want. Want inside. Want's free now, but broken up there by, who's that?
Pat
Ercole coming all the way
Ercole,
down.
right.
Well, really interesting. Tony Wantz, a left fullback. He's been playing left wing for the first 20 minutes of this game, it seems. We're not in the 20 minutes yet, but he really has been playing quite deep. He's been in that left wing position.
This is Willie Morgan with the corner. Second corner for Minnesota. Here it comes. Punched away by Spilar. Here's a kick by Ntsoelengoe. Just score!
Well, Ntsoelengoe is hot tonight.
That was deflected to the left. Spilar was going to the left and the ball went to the right.
And it went off somebody's foot in the goal.
Let's take a look.
Get it. Spilar made a really nice save, punched it out, and Ntsoelengoe came right up on the ball, let it go, and then no, it wasn't deflected. It was hit by, we can't see. It was by Mark Moran, the American, who deflected the shot very nicely.
Ntsoelengoe's second goal of the game.
No, it was Mark Moran's goal. It was Mark Moran should get credit for that goal because it came off his foot. We just saw it on the replay. It was
beautiful deflection.
Yeah, it was fantastic deflection.
We have 30,000 happy people right now in this stadium.
And a lot of unhappy fans in Rochester, but I'll tell you, they were two excellent opportunities, and Spilar, the goalie, couldn't do too much with those two.
Minnesota leading it 2-0. Long ball over to Morgan. Here's Morgan. Morgan with the cross. Knocked out by Foslich. Kept in. And West knocks it high and wide. 26:54 left in the first half. Minnesota now leading it 2-0. Lancers Soccer 78 will continue in a moment.
Disco Danny, king of the hustle. I see you chew a lot of gum.
Sure, Trident.
Why Trident?
It tastes great and it's sugarless. Gotta watch my step.
Well, you know, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend sugarless gum for their patients who chew gum. Any other reason?
Like the minty flavor?
Like, is it the only gum your mom lets you chew?
Are you kidding?
Trident sugarless gum. Your teeth never outgrow it.
Back at Met Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, with the Kicks leading it 2-0. Ace Ntsoelengoe scored at 10:30, and at 16:50 just moments ago, Mark Moran, his first career goal, and the Kicks lead it 2-0, and an assist by Ntsoelengoe.
Mark Moran's a graduate of Southern Illinois University, and he has to be very, very happy to get that first goal of his professional career. I'm just sad it has to be against us.
Any thoughts we had about playing defensive soccer, I think, have just gone out the window.
Yeah, they have to
Charley.
really open the attack up now, and Papa's going to have these men pick up these men one-on-one. Erically is really being held by
like
Tony
a little bit of
Watt.
holding.
Yeah. But you know, as long as they don't get another one soon, and we can get one before the first half, we're still in this ball game. Just a comment, gentlemen. I saw Freddie Goodwin before, who is a good friend, about 14 feet off the bench. There he is in blue shirt and blue trousers. We'll get a shot of him later. He's supposed to be sitting on the bench, but I guess he decides he wants to stand up.
Lancers have it. Well, once again, it was Baylon right there on top of Barnett. Barnett grabbed it away. Got it out to Ntsoelengoe. Intercepted there by Nicolini. It'll be a throw-in for Minnesota.
Some of the Kick fans have been complaining because Barnett hasn't been in goal for the last 3 games, and they feel they've lost a lot by not having his size in there.
You know, well, he's a a very fine goalkeeper. Long history, was with Arsenal, was a teammate of Charlie George. He has a long experience. He's one of the real pros.
Minnesota coming back. They lead it 2-0. 24-25 left in the first half. That's Merrick and Litt back and forth over to Watt. Watt gets it over to West. West still has it. West with a little chipper over to Willie. Back to West. Here's a shot. High.
They really developed that play very nicely, and they opened up the Lancer defense. They split the middle of it. They came in the middle, and now Mike Wirtz is talking. Here we have it on the replay. If we can watch it, we can see how the ball is placed very nicely. Alan Willie just crossed it over at number 12. Charlie George placed it with his right foot. It goes high, but Race Villar had a good angle on it. Didn't touch it, knew it was going high.
So it's a goal kick for the Lancers.
It was a beautiful give and go between Willie and Charlie Morgan, though.
Villar gets it out. Baylon waiting for it. Knocked away by Steve Litt.
He really jumped in the air that time. To see him get up, I mean...
Get it over to Horvath. Here's Horvath keeping it in. Nobody to pass to. And it's broken up by Sam Bick. Bick gets it back to Barnett. Minnesota comes back. They're leading it 2-0.
Kicks flip their bit.
Yeah.
We hope you'll come out to
Mark
Holiday
Moran.
Stadium this Friday night to see the Lancers take on New England, currently leading the Eastern Division of the American Conference as we continue our assault on the leaders. And we have a family package including general admission for 2 adults and 2 children, plus a Lancer Mania yearbook you'll love, a $20 value for just $12.
If you call the Lancer office right now at 232-2420, people are manning the office. Our staff are in there, so call up and reserve your yearbook. That's the only way you'll get a Lancer Mania 77 program.
Minnesota, no hurry right now. They have the lead 2-0. To the long ball. And it goes to nobody except Svilar. Svilar gets it out to Mijanovic. Mijanovic will bring it back for the Lancers. Over to Draghi. Draghi over to Foslich. Here comes Foslich. Foslich over the center stripe. Foslich with a long pass. Down to Trifunovic. And we have a whistle. The Looks like it's going to be a goal kick.
You know, yeah, looks like they called a foul on Tribunovic for high kicking there.
So Minnesota comes back. Playing that long ball. Boy, you get up there. And it looks like we're going to have a foul on Tribunovic.
Fouling Mark Moran. Bit of a confusion there in the back. We just had last play. We can see the ball high in the air as it's coming. Now you see both Mihanovic and Fazlick. Fazlick should have been behind Mihanovic to help out there in case the ball went over Mihanovic's head.
All right, we're back live now. Here's Villar coming out. Break it up. It's going to be a corner kick for Minnesota.
Villar made a nice save on a very poor pass from Joe Horvath. And Joe Horvath's made a couple of bad passes tonight. It's not been his best game so far.
21:07 left in the first half. Kicks leading it 2-0. Goals by Ntsoelengoe.
Now look at this three-man wall they set up on the near post. I've never seen this particular formation. It's kind of interesting. They'll try a backhead pass.
Here's West. Villar comes out.
And he's fouled.
All right, Lancers coming back. This is Draghi. Lancers really haven't mounted much of an attack so far. And they're going to have problems now, being down 2-0. Here comes Fazlic. Fazlic with a lot of room. Fazlic moving in. Fazlic gets it over to Bailon. Bailon has it. Here's Bailon. Ntsoelengoe around Bailon. Bailon gets around Ntsoelengoe. Here comes Bailon with a nice pass over to Tribunovic. And it's broken up by Minnesota. Minnesota coming up, coming back.
Sam Bick was really on him that time and took that ball right away from him.
Minnesota on the attack. Nice pass back, but it goes to Fazlic. Fazlic to Tribunovic. Here's a pass over to Niccolini. And the Lancers coming back. Niccolini with room. Niccolini moving in. He passes over to Ercole. Here's Ercole. Ercole intercepted by Minnesota.
Merrick really waited for that ball very nicely. Intercepted. A very beautiful interception by Merrick.
Lancers get it back. That would have been a nice pass. Uh-oh. Here comes George. Nice play. Nice play by Charlie George.
Charlie George. He's been out of action for a while with injuries. And
the whole Minnesota team has been out with injuries. Bailon's offsides.
Charlie George, another one of the fine players from Derby County. They estimate his value at over $1 million right now. He's on loan from Derby County in England.
All right, Minnesota has it. Minnesota will come back. We have 18:55 left in the first half with the kicks leading it 2-0. Team captain, Alan Merrick. Here's George. Broken up by Tribunovic. Minnesota still has it. Inside. And it'll be a go kick.
Series of one-touch wall passes. They didn't stop the ball. It's very pretty and very, very beautiful passing. Very excellent.
Here's Ercole. Broken up. No whistle. Minnesota coming back. Nice play over there by Alan Merrick. The red shirts have it. Minnesota moving from left to right. Red and blue. Here comes Litt now. And a long pass into Willie. Niccolini breaks it up, gets it over to Ercole. Ercole gets it to Bailon. Bailon over to Palmieri. Palmieri heels it back all by himself. Yes. Score! Jim Polligan.
Well, they're announcing first goal of the season for Jim Polligan, but it's not. Here's a great play if we can see it all now. There's Ercole carrying it, places it over to Bailon. Bailon sees Jim Polligan, just flicks it easily, and then it goes from Palmieri to Jimmy Polligan. He hits it with his right foot, and there it is.
17:21 left in the first half. Lancers coming back. They now trail 2-1, and Lancer Soccer 78 will continue in a moment.
Sycamores and open doors and home so easy going. We found a place to make our home.
Continuing an exciting week of shows from West Virginia, we move to Charleston with Althea Flint. And via videotape to the hospital bed of Hustler magazine publisher Larry Flint, who was shot recently on the streets of Georgia by an unknown assailant. They will discuss how his conversion as a born-again Christian and the shooting have changed their lives, and will it change their magazine? Join us.
We have quite a match going at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. The Kicks leading the Lancers by a score of 2-1. Jimmy Polligan just made it 2-1, that 1-goal margin, by scoring his fourth goal of the season.
And now we have a corner kick coming up as the ball was kicked off Jimmy Polligan's foot as he wound up to take a shot. But that was excellent passing, that first goal. As you saw it go from Ercole to Balon to Palmieri, very unselfish, until finally they found Jimmy Polligan empty on the left wing. Now here comes Horvath, who's going to take an outswinger. That is, he's going to hit it as the ball will slice out.
Lancers' first corner. Here it comes. There it is. Trifunovic. And we have Mijatovic inside. Mijatovic with a shot. It's
that
deflected.
looked like a handball on Mark Moran. I wonder if we have that, but they're going to call a corner.
We'll have to get the corner.
Here we can see the play now.
Let's take our own look here.
Here's Joe Horvath as he lines up to take his outswinger. We're going to outswings it, and then there's the ball is stopped, and then there is Mijatovic who takes a shot, comes in, right foot, and it did come off his hand.
We'll show the ref the replay.
We'll have to.
Back live now. We just had our corner. Lancers still have it. Back over to Balon. Balon over to Ercole. Ercole has it knocked away, but here's Balon back. Balon moving in. And it's kept in by Minnesota. Minnesota gets it over Ntsoelengoe, but the Lancers have it again. This is Palmieri being marked by Ntsoelengoe. Here's cross inside. Broken up. Boslic has it. Boslic bringing it right back in.
Good attack by the Lancers.
Boslic gets away over to Horvath all by himself on left wing. Here's Draghi moving in. Knocked away by Willie Morgan. It'll be a throw-in for the Lancers. 14:20 left in the first half. We have quite a match with the Kicks leading the Lancers 2-1. Oh, nice block.
Oh! A nice shot by Jimmy Polligan, who swung with his left foot, hit the top of the bar.
14:09 left in the half, and Lancers Soccer 78 will continue in a moment.
Happy birthday, Grandpa. Happy birthday.
When do you say Budweiser whenever the moment is right for a great beer?
Good for you.
Yeah, but it sure smells good. When do you say Budweiser?
After the corn, the chicken, and the black-eyed peas.
And try this for your person, sir.
Why, thank you.
When do you say Budweiser?
Honey, after a few hours in this kitchen, I can't form my mouth to say anything else. Ain't that the truth?
After the work is done, while you still having fun, anytime the right time to say it. When do you say Budweiser?
Whenever I feel like a king.
Or when you say Budweiser, you have said it all.
14:09 left, and the clock has stopped. You haven't lost anything because we've had an injury out on the field, Charlie.
It looks like the team captain, Alan Merrick, has had some type of head injury. He seems to be holding his head. Mike Wirtz, the referee, and we wanted to mention Mike Wirtz. You recall he was a referee in Toronto 2 years ago in the playoff game when the goal was scored, as he said, in 89 minutes and 59 seconds. So with 1 second left, and we were knocked out of the playoffs. And that last second goal, certain Lancer officials thought it was 90-06 when the goal was scored. In any event, that's Mike Wirtz, originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, time back in. Minnesota coming back. Minnesota leading it by a score of 2-1. A lot of action here in the first half. Lancers like to get one more before the half ends. Trifunovic heads it back to Horvath. Horvath with a volley to Palmieri. Give and goal. Working very nice now.
Four beautiful passes,
yep.
I thought.
Here's Niccolini. Niccolini down the right side to Balon with another give and go. Not quite.
Field looks dug up in spots. You say, Jack, that it was soft out there, eh? It looks like there's some patches of turf dug up, and that'll cause the ball to, you know, bounce erratically.
Over on the far side, we had the tarp right up until game time in that area.
Sort of the left center field area in baseball.
Right.
Yes.
They had a heavy rain. It is coming up.
This morning it rained here pretty heavily.
This is Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe brings it back for Minnesota. And broken up by Trifunovic. Nice play. Intercepted. Here's a nice pass down to Ercole. Ercole down the right wing. Knocked away.
Nice sliding
by Alan Merrick, Minnesota's team captain.
They're very strong up the middle with Litt and Merrick. Two very solid defenders who do a very good job.
That was Niccolini winding up. Once again, there was Alan Merrick making the stop. Did another throw in for the Lancers. 12:35 left in the half. That's off.
That looked like a ballet move.
Yes. Joe Horvath going over to take the corner.
This is the kind of corner I'd like to see Joe take, because with his left foot he'll take the in-swinger, and it's kind of a beauty.
There's a little breeze that's going to help him on this too. It's blowing directly into the goal.
Here it comes. Ooh, nice save by Jeff Barnett.
He played that just beautifully.
Jimmy Polligan was right there.
Now here's the in-swinger. As you see Joe Horvath approach it with his left foot, hits it. It's a banana kick. It's coming in. If no one's there, it'll go right in the goal. But Jeff Barnett comes out and just, you know, almost dead center and picks it off.
All right, here comes Minnesota coming back over the 35-yard line. Yanovich tries to break it up, and it's going over to Niccolini. He'll keep it in, and the Lancers will bring it back.
Well, someone down there is holding his ankle very. It looks like Val Trifunovic, eh? Yes.
It is. But he seems to be okay. Lancers have their gold pants, blue shirts.
And the orange and the blue of the Minnesota Kicks make a very, I think, a very handsome combination out there.
Here's Nick Mijatovic inside, try to get it Baylon. And it's Polligan. Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe keeps it and gets it out of trouble for Minnesota. Minnesota coming back once again. Nice crowd on hand today, by the way. They've been averaging 30,000 a game.
They had 24,000 in the driving rain the last game, which I think is magnificent.
Ooh. They had to set up some new rules on their tailgating parties that they couldn't come more than an hour and a half before, you see. People wouldn't leave. And 3 hours after.
I'll tell you, this is the home of tailgating in Minnesota. They founded the tailgating concept, at least for soccer. We know they always had it in football, but we walked through about 2 hours before, and people were tailgating already, and they would seem to be enjoying the different libations.
Many of them think this is football, our football.
Mijatovic breaking it up for the Lancers. Here's Niccolini coming back now. Counter attack for Rochester over the center line. Here's a pass inside to Baylon. Baylon loses it though. And this is Litt coming back. Litt over to Ntsoelengoe.
He is dangerous. Just very, very, very smooth.
Tried to give and go to Willie. Didn't work, but they get it back. Here's Willie with it. Deflected off of Horvath. And Willie still has it.
They call him the Dodger. You can see why.
Yeah.
He really twists and twirls and moves and just causes a lot of deception just with his body moves. Look at this.
Oh, and he gave it right to Foslich.
Why didn't he shoot?
And what a break that was, because the Lancers were playing the offsides, and there was no way that that George was offsides. And there's another errant pass from Joe Horvath.
We just gave it right back. Minnesota coming back again now. This is Morgan. Morgan has Moran on the left.
That was a nice
but
stop
it's broken
by
up
Joe
by
there.
Horvath. Horvath to Baylon. Baylon gets by. Still going. Baylon down the right wing. Looking for Horvath. He's breaking in. We have Ercole breaking in. Polligan breaking in. Over to Horvath. Here's Ercole. Ercole tries to heel it back to Polligan. But it's broken up by Ntsoelengoe. He's played a major part in this game so far.
He certainly has. He's up. He's in the defense. He's in the offense. He's playing both ends. Coach Dragan Popovich is looking around because two of his players are not moving too well. Val Trifunovic, now he seems to be, and Joe Horvath. Joe Horvath seems to be favoring his right leg now.
Moran gets it over to George. Here's George. George has it again over in left wing. Here's Morgan. Morgan with a center. Broken up by Mijatovic. And Minnesota regains possession. We have 8:21 left in the first half. And we have a whistle. It's going to be a foul on Ntsoelengoe.
Took down Alan Merrick. Alan Merrick was attacking that time in the left halfback position. They show a lot of versatility, this team.
Let's take a look at what a coach thinks about during a game.
There he is. Popovich looks deep in thought, doesn't he? You do the play-by-play on that one, Jack.
He isn't a chance.
Where did I go wrong?
All right, Lancers have it. Here's Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy Polligan, who scored the 1 goal for the Lancers so far in the game, gets it over to Draghi, overlapping. Here comes Draghi to Baylon. Draghi continues in. And here goes Polligan breaking in. And Baylon still has it. Here's Baylon with a shot. Deflected away. Here's Don Draghi. Don Draghi with a shot. And it'll be a goal kick for Minnesota. We have 7:22 left in the half. Minnesota leads it 2-1. Lancer Soccer 78 will continue in a moment.
Hello there. I'm the French's mustard maker, and I'd like you to meet my son.
I'm everybody's son.
But not when it comes to mustard. There's only one sunshine mustard, French's.
True.
French's is the sunshine mustard.
Because its bright, sunny flavor livens up the taste of any good food.
And whenever there's fun and sun, there's bound to be French's mustard.
What a bright thing to say.
Spread the sunshine, taste the French's all around.
French's, we make your life delicious.
For the times you want to pay by check. Central Trust Visa Charter Checking Card. Member FDIC.
It's here now. Heinrich Chevyland's great markdown sale. Monzas, Monte Carlos, Malibus, all drastically reduced during Heinrich's great markdown sale. Save.
During the commercial break, there was a beautiful penetration down the left side by number 7, Willie Morgan, as he came all the way down and then let the pass go to Willie, and Alan Willie shot high and missed. A great break for the Rochester Lancers. You just saw it.
Excuse me, Charlie. We have 6 minutes left in the first half. Kicks leading it by a score of 2-1. Jimmy Polligan scored the goal for the Lancers. Mark Moran, his first goal on the deflection for the Kicks. And Ace Ntsoelengoe, there's a shot. And Villar makes the save.
Again, it looked like Alan Willie penetrating beautifully. They call him the Dodger, and here he comes. You see Alan Willie coming right down, left winger, moved in, fakes out Ntsoelengoe, goes inside, and then with his right foot lets it go, and Villar is beautifully placed and stops the ball.
Yep. Joe Horvath pointed, he wanted it, but
he wanted the ball inside, not outside.
Didn't agree.
Apparently.
Ntsoelengoe gets it back to Barnett. And Barnett gets it out the lit. And Minnesota comes back. 5:14 left in the first half.
Those Lancer offices are open. Lancer staff is there, so order your ticket for the New England game as the Lancers meet another first division team that's in first place in this division. And if you buy the family pack, which is $12 for 2 adults and 2 children, you'll also receive free a Lancer Mania 77 magazine, and that's a $5 value. Just that, a $20 value for $12.
The tough part
a little bit of confusion right there.
Is at the wrong time of the year.
Yeah.
That was Horvath with a header that went astray. Here comes George back for Minnesota. He gets it over to Morgan. Morgan's the guy that's been penetrating. Morgan moving in. He's got a lot of room. They're giving him a lot of room. Deflected off of Morgan, off of his body.
Referee said it was his chest that he.
Watch out, Jimmy. Okay. Jimmy gets away from Sam Bick, who was overlapping there.
And Sam Bick was a former teammate of Jim Polligan at Quincy College. The two had played together. Sam Bick a junior, Jimmy Polligan a senior, so they know one another fairly well and they're good friends.
Here's Horvath all by himself. Horvath with a nice pass. If somebody was there.
Well, Polligan and Ercole were almost close. One of the two should have been there.
Open space pass. It didn't really catch anybody. He was hoping that somebody would be in the spot.
Yeah, he was hoping they'd go for it, and neither one of them had enough speed to get there, but they tried.
Okay. Minnesota I was going to say coming back, but they're going the other way right now, setting it up.
They're attacking with their central defenders.
That left side seems to be open. It's Moran. Morgan has it again. Morgan inside to Willie. But Spilar comes out and gets it over to Palmieri, and the Lancers come back. He's being marked by Ntsoelengoe, who's all over the field today. Draghi has it. And Don dribbling it over, passes it to Foslich. And Foslich brings it down. Foslich being marked by George. And Palmieri has it intercepted. Still has it, though. Gets it over to Trifunovic, and Trifunovic over to Don Draghi. Lancers not moving much. Here's Bailon breaking. Over to Horvath. Horvath, no place to go. Gives it to Bailon. Bailon moving over center with a shot. Oh, it was almost deflected off of Barnett.
That was a beautiful fake to the left, cut to the right, let it go with his right foot. And we have it on the replay. We can catch it now. Here's the play. Here's Julio Bailon. Fakes a little bit to the right, double steps, and then with his right foot lets it go. Jeff Barnett gets it with it. It goes off his fingertips, but he comes right back and captured a great move.
All right, we're back live. We have a whistle. Looks like a foul against the Lancers. Ntsoelengoe was penetrating.
He has been penetrating all night. He's just been like a snake, slithering in and out and playing beautifully.
We only have 1:50 left in the first half. Minnesota has it. Here's Morgan. Morgan.
They're both taking their time because they don't want to give up a goal now, and they both like to get a goal now, both sides, knowing that the game has been very exciting end to end, and they just neither team wants to give up a goal, so they're trying to be extra careful, both sides.
Nicolini gets a way out. 1:26 left in the half. Nice play. See if we can catch this final score, Charlie. Oh, picked it up.
Do you want to hear that one? Do you want to hear that score?
Final score: Detroit 10, San Jose nothing.
I'll tell you, those teams in the on the western side, Oakland was bombed the other night by Toronto 8-2, and now San Jose gets bombed 10-0. It isn't good for soccer, and we've been concerned about that American Conference, the western half of it, anyways.
Well, we have quite a match going here with the Kicks leading the Lancers 2-1. Time running out in the first half. Ntsoelengoe once again. And we have overlapping by Sam Bick. Sam Bick to Ntsoelengoe, broken up by Trifunovic, and he gets it. Nice fling out. Sam Bick coming back, and Spilar has to come out and make the save. Sam Bick overlapping there.
Has this first half really moved along, or hasn't
it?
Yes,
it has.
Just been
He's
me?
the right halfback.
Yeah, it really has.
Had a lot of action. There's only 19 seconds left. Okay, here's Mijanovic with 13 seconds left. Over to Bailon. And Morgan has it for Minnesota. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. That'll do it for the first half. Mijanovic, 1 second. And the referee blows his whistle. That is the end of the first half, with Minnesota leading the Lancers by a score of 2-1. Minnesota getting off to a 2-0 lead. Jimmy Polligan coming back and getting the lone goal for the Lancers, putting us on the board and narrowing the gap to just 1 goal.
But we do have some interesting facts about that San Jose-Detroit game, the final. We thought we'd give it to you. Trevor Francis, the famous English star acquired by Detroit, scored 5 goals and 1 assist. I don't know where that places him in the scoring race now, but it has to move him right up there.
Okay, well, we'll have a recap in our game here, the first half of our game, and bring you our halftime activities right after we take this time out.
Here's 100 years of tradition coming at you.
Here comes the king. Here comes the king. Here comes the big number 1.
Here comes the king.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all. Here comes the king.
Messing for smokeless tobacco.
I love soccer, and I love tobacco, but I don't light up. I get my tobacco pleasure the smokeless way, and so can you. With mild, easy-to-use Happy Days. It's a smokeless tobacco with a great fresh mint flavor. Just a little pinch between your cheek and gum is all it takes. The best part of going smokeless? It's really relaxing. Try some.
Wow! Sit down, Krebs.
Sorry, Teach. I didn't know the gum was loaded.
You didn't know Freshen Up was loaded with flavor?
He didn't know the gum was loaded. So who expected all this taste? He didn't know the gum was loaded. Hey, ordinary gum, this ain't.
Didn't you know Freshen Up loads delicious gum with refreshing liquid flavor boosters?
Now I do.
Freshen Up,
it's loaded
with flavor.
It's time now for the NASL Goal of the Week, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers.
Each week, Budweiser presents the Goal of the Week, selected by Paul Gardner, editor of Soccer Express magazine, from the past week's NASL action.
This is Paul Gardner. This week we're at Tampa Stadium for an all-Florida battle between the Tampa Bay Rowdies and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. We're 1 minute into sudden death overtime.
As the Rowdies tied it up, this is Joe Fink, 14. In the middle, goal by Rodney Marsh.
A picture book header by Rodney Marsh, a perfect header. And you know, really, that was a goal that had Rodney Marsh written all over it, because he started that move. He started that goal way back in midfield. He picked up a pass in midfield. He put his head up. He looked around to see what was going on. And out on the right wing, he saw Joey Fink, who was also unmarked. He delivered a perfect left-foot ball all the way over to Joey Fink. Here's Joey Fink picking up the pass. He's got time to control it. He's got time to look up, and he'll see in the area that Rodney Marsh is racing forward to receive his cross. Over comes his cross there, and this is a good cross. It goes just over a defender's head, over his head. Here comes Marsh, pushing one of his own teammates out of the way. A lovely header, low to Banks' left. There's goalkeeper Banks. He sees it, he dives, but it's simply too well placed and too well hit. A hat-trick then for Rodney Marsh, and a 3-2 sudden death win for the Tampa Bay Rowdies over the Fort Lauderdale Strikers.
Watch next week for the NASL Goal of the Week, selected from NASL action, and brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers.
Okay, Charlie, it was a very interesting first half, and one that seemed to spark up nicely after Jim Polligan's goal got the guys turned on a bit.
Jack, I thought that Minnesota started right off, and Ace Ntsoelengoe went in at 10 minutes and 30 seconds and hit that high soft chip shot, and he caught Ray Spillar out. Ray really perhaps a little bit too far out, and then they came right back, and that was a good, on a corner kick, the ball was punched out by Spillar again. Ace Ntsoelengoe, who's played a great game,
and all over the field,
chipped it in, and then Mark Moran just deflected with his foot. You know, it's one of those shots you get 1 out of 100 maybe, but it was there and good shot. But what really impressed me is the fact that Lancers being 2 down in the first 20 minutes, the first goal at 10 minutes, second goal at 16, very gritty, very tenacious, didn't get excited, didn't just push the ball wildly, built up some very fine attacks, had some good scoring opportunities, and kept up the constant pressure. I think it's been a super game, a great game for television, and I think we're going to come back and do very well. And the goal by Polligan on passes from Ercolini, Balon, Palmieri, and finally all one-touch passes right around the mall of goal, and Polligan was free, hit it in, just a great shot.
In fact, the Vikings may want to keep Balon here for the next season.
You mentioned he'd make a good guard, but
he would. He's got legs like tree trunks. The O's and Aju here are a little soccer scoro going on down in the field right now.
It's just a tremendous crowd out here, and we're so pleased to be here. We've been watching the tailgating outside, and it's fantastic. They were here 2 hours before, having a fine time. They're in a festive mood. Every game here is an occasion. They must have 25 to 30,000 folks out there, and they just love the Minnesota Kicks. And I hope that next Friday night against New England, we can say that we have a fine crowd that just loves the Lancers.
Well, this coming Friday night, we continue to face the league leaders, Mike Flanagan, with 27 goals. Who would have thought when we first played them up in New England, this man would be ahead of Georgie Canalia, right, for the scoring title?
You'd never believe it. He scored 5 goals just the other day. Now Trevor Francis receives 5. The league is really opening up some tremendous talent. And one thing I was just saying to myself during the first half, the caliber of play in this league has risen so quickly this year. And this Minnesota team, a fine team, the Rochester team, an excellent team. The quality of play has moved right up.
And we're going to talk about that quality of play in Americans in soccer in just a moment. We'll be right back.
And now News Brief, brought to you by Security Trust.
Good evening. The Gnay nuclear power plant came under fire today. The Nader organization says Gnay had the third most workers exposed to unsafe radiation in 1976. RG&E says standards used by Nader are not correct. Local postal workers gathered at the old post office building today, part of a nationwide demonstration against the Postal Service. They say the service is stalling in contract negotiations. Now this.
Home to you means home to us, nearest you.
I'm Dick DeMecco. More news at 11.
The 78 Ford LTD, the traditional full-size car, and the full-size LTD Country Squire. LTD, with mileage ratings that may surprise you. Full-size room for 6. A full-size trunk that's bigger than any competitor's, and 1,000 pounds more towing capacity than its closest sales competitor. Country Squire. No other wagon gives you more cargo space.
See Vanderstein Ford, 4545 West Ridge Road, Rochester.
The New York State Fair, now more fair than ever with 10 great days and a Fair Deal entertainment package that saves you 50% on admission alone. Get your Fair Deal brochure now.
Johnsonian shoes for men, now only $12 a pair. 2 pair for $21.80 at the shoe racks. Men, if you shop for good-looking, well-made shoes at reasonable prices, shop the shoe racks for the same fine style and good quality at lower prices. The shoe racks discount brand-name men's shoes like Johnsonian. So for an unbeatable selection at unbeatable prices, serve yourself and save at the shoe racks. Shop any of these shoe racks locations for good-looking Johnsonian shoes for men. Now only $12 a pair, 2 pair for $21.80 at the shoe racks.
We're at halftime at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, with the Kicks leading the Lancers by a score of 2-1. And we'll have more halftime activities right after this message from our local station.
Let Sloan take you on a tour of Kohler baths. Earth, sand, and sky come together in a Kohler dream bath in natural earth tones of espresso brown. Let Sloan help you design a Kohler bath as unique as your own personality. Sloan offers superior Kohler products for the fashion-minded whose building and remodeling plans require incomparable style and elegance. Make your selection at the Sloan Decorator Showroom. Open daily 8 to 5, Saturday 9 to 2, 350 Metro Park.
We have been ordered to march into the jungle, where we will establish a fortress for liberty and justice.
Before the headlines, before we knew what was happening, a handful of American military advisors led a group of soldiers into a deserted village. They're getting strafed, shelled, bombed, and blasted, and it isn't even their war. Burt Lancaster, go, tell the Spartans, rated R.
Starts Friday at Todd Mart and Westmar Cinemas.
WOKR-TV, Channel 13, Rochester, New York.
You can hear him, huh?
Okay, we're back at Bloomington in this beautiful Minnesota stadium on a balmy night, about 75 degrees. They've removed the tornado watch, so we're okay, Charlie.
I feel good about that.
I do, too.
I'll tell you something, Jack. You know, people say that Americans are a vanishing breed in North American Soccer League in terms of players, American players on the field, but we think otherwise, especially with the Lancers, and you have some thoughts on that.
Well, I do. I know I've thought, along with a lot of other soccer fans, I'd love to see an all-American team, get all the boys from Brockport, make them Rochester Americans in soccer, as it were, and see what would happen. And what I didn't realize until I read this article in Soccer America, which just came out, was that the Rochester Lancers rate number 6 in the entire league in the use of North American soccer players. Now, Colorado is right up top.
Dave Clements, who was then the coach, made a commitment to bring Americans on the field, and he did that. But I think we're in the top 10, and that pleases me.
And surprisingly, the Cosmos are number 8.
And guess who's number 24?
Number 24 is?
New England, who we play Friday night.
Right, and we've had good success against the English style, both in New England and Philadelphia, and we hope it continues here in Bloomington, and we'll be back in just a minute.
When do you say Budweiser?
After we find one more mile an hour.
When do you say Budweiser?
Right now, or any time that's right for a cold beer is perfect for the smooth taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
When you say Budweiser,
Here's to you, gentlemen.
you said it all.
Bubblicious. It's the ultimate bubble. Bubblicious. It's the ultimate bubble. Soft and juicy. It's the ultimate bubble. So delicious. It's the ultimate bubble. It's the ultimate bubble. Bubblicious. The ultimate bubble. Bubblicious.
All right, back we are at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, just about ready for the second half kickoff. Charlie, you have some stats from the first half.
Here are the stats. Shots from Minnesota 6, Rochester 9. Shots on goal, Minnesota 3, Rochester 7. Fouls, Minnesota 5, Rochester 7. It's been really a game, but not too heavy with the fouls. Saves, Minnesota 3, Rochester 1. Corner kicks, Minnesota 3, Rochester 2. Offsides, they each have 1. It has been a very well-played, almost even match, with Rochester out-shooting Minnesota by 6-9 and shots on goal by 3-7. So the Rochester Lancers have done very, very well in terms of statistics in this game.
Charlie, just to put the lid on that story we were talking about 35% of those players in our league are now North Americans, and many people feel the long-term future of this league certainly lies with its Americanization.
We think so here in Rochester.
And we're underway. Minnesota kicks off, start the second half. Minnesota with a lead of 2-1 over the Lancers. Jimmy Polligan scored the lone goal for the Lancers. And it's going to be a throw-in for Minnesota. This is Charlie George. Wasn't going to take it, but now he does. And he gets it over to West. West over to Morgan, who's played a big part in this game. And broken up there by Trifunovic, but it goes right back to Tony Watt. And Ntsoelengoe, who's got a goal and an assist. So far, actually, he should have 2 goals. There's a nice play. And Morgan has it again. Morgan tries to get it. Ntsoelengoe, shot! That's wide left.
Oh,
sneaky, isn't he?
Where did he come from? I was about to say he must be offside, but look at the nice pass from
sneaky.
Willie Morgan. He's coming back on the disc. Willie Morgan, there he is, looking, fading, and then just sees Ace Ntsoelengoe, puts it in the middle, and there's Ace Ntsoelengoe running in, one touches it with his right foot and goes wide by about a yard. It looked like Villar had it covered, but I wouldn't want to leave Ace Ntsoelengoe that free in front of the goal.
Well, he's been a part of both goals. Scored the first one, shot the second one, was deflected in off his teammate, who was Mark Moran. That was his first goal of the season. Got to go without shooting, huh?
Well, it certainly is something.
Okay, here's Morgan penetrating. Ntsoelengoe with a shot. Wide right this time.
He loves to post himself just about 7 yards outside the penalty area and then penetrate from there. And if he's free, he'll let the shot go. And that's a very dangerous shot, especially if one of these British forwards can get a deflection on it, as Mark Moran, the American player, did. Very nicely, by the way.
All right, you just saw Ntsoelengoe marking Palmieri. Lancers bring it back now with Foslich. Foslich trying to get around George. George goes back. Nice lead over to Draghi. Draghi overlapping. Nice pass into Jimmy Polligan. And it's just high. Well, it'll be a goal kick now for Minnesota. 42-51 left in the second half. And Soccer 78 will continue right after this.
Taste is different, it stands alone. Crush has a taste that's all its own. All the freshest taste you've ever known. Crush has a taste that's all its own.
Thirsty for something different? Try something different. Like refreshing, lightly carbonated Orange Crush.
Crush has a taste that's all its own.
No matter how you dry yourself, you'll find nothing does it like a thick Luxor towel.
more than 800,000 cotton loops in a single Luxor bath towel. That's why it's so incredibly soft and absorbent. Getting dry. It's not in the technique. It's in the towel.
Colorful all-cotton Luxor towels. On sale now at Sibley's.
We have 41-39 left in the game, left in regulation. Minnesota leads it by a score of 2-1. Ron DeFrance along with Jack Pelvino and Charley Schiano here at Metropolitan Stadium. Lancers have it. This is Palmieri. Palmieri battling away with Moran. Here's Bailon. Bailon gets it over to Ercole. Ercole bringing it back now as the Lancers set up. This is Foslich. Foslich over to Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy Polligan being marked by Morgan. Gets Soto. Nice give and go. Back to Jimmy Polligan. Here's Jimmy with the center. And it goes over. It'll be a go kick. It'll be a corner kick.
Willie Morgan.
Corner kick.
That was Sam Bick very close on, excuse me, Ron, very close on Jimmy Polligan. For a minute, I thought it was Willie Morgan, but Sam Bick, playing that left fullback position, was trying to shadow Jimmy, but Jimmy Polligan played it very nicely. Now it's going to be that in-swinger again that we just like to see Joe Horvath take. And here he goes. He lines up to take it.
This is our third corner kick. First of the second half. Here it is. How does it look? Deflected away. Went down to Pat Ercole. Here comes Minnesota back very fast. This is Morgan. Morgan down the left side. That's Foslich racing with him. Foslich catches up to him.
The referee blew a whistle. Looks like obstruction against Foslich. It'll be just outside the area there. We should say that in this instance, the Lancers will be defending that part of the field, which is the infield of really the Minnesota Twins as they play here. It's third base is right at the goal mouth.
Here comes West. West has his shot deflected away by Foslich. Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe passes it over. Nice heel pass back. Here's Foslich, gets it back to Nicolini. Mijanovic gets it back to Nicolini. I'm listening to the PA announcer.
I know you are. It certainly is.
He got Mijanovic, Foslich, and I did the same thing. Okay, there's the kick.
Charlie George is known as England's premier striker on this English team.
Well, he certainly has the credentials. He's been around a long time, a very agile person. He knows how to shoot.
Here comes Jimmy Polligan on the left side. There's a shot and a save.
And Julio was upset.
Well, Julio had the far post, and if it had just gotten over his head, Julio was ready to hammer it. There's Jimmy Polligan. The pass is now Ercole, who puts it up to Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy breaks through. His left foot, he tries to lift it over Jeff Barnett, but doesn't get enough of it.
Minnesota coming back. They lead it by a score of 2-1, 38-51 left in regulation. Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe being marked by, oh, nice give and go to Ntsoelengoe. And he hits it, wow, keeps it in bounds. Here's Morgan. Morgan shot. Score in the upper right-hand corner.
That was $1 million shot, just a super shot. Foslich a little slow picking up Willie Morgan. Morgan picking it up on the pass from Charlie George and going in.
That's the second player that has scored the first goal of the season.
There it is. Now he comes right on. Foslich is trying to mark him. He gets just a step ahead of Foslich, lets it go to the far right-hand corner. Svilar just can't get that far over. He shot to the far corner. It's now 3-1. A beautiful goal, a magnificent
super shot.
Well, they've been all beautiful goals so far tonight. Unfortunately, 3 of them have been off foot of kicks. So Minnesota leads it by a score of 3-1. 37-51 left now. Here comes Minnesota back. That was Morgan's first goal of the season. Moran earlier scored his first of the season. This time he tries to get over to Willie, who has scored 17 and led him just a little bit too far. So it'll be a goal kick for the Lancers. And Foslich gets it back to Svilar. And the Lancers will bring it back.
I don't think Svilar expected a shot there, Charlie.
No, I don't think he did either. I think he was looking for a pass and laid off, but Willie Morgan saw the corner and let it go.
That's Belon. Belon still has possession. Belon down the left wing. Nobody breaking in. Here's Belon battling away. Gets it over to Jimmy Polligan. Back to Belon with a give and go. Here's Jimmy with a shot. Score!
What a
Jimmy
beautiful
Polligan
give and go.
with a second goal of the game.
Beautiful give and go from Julio.
Here it is. Now we can see Julio playing with it. Gives it to Jimmy Polligan. Polligan then plays it back to Julio. Julio just side passed it. Here comes Jimmy Polligan, the converted fullback with his left foot in the far corner. And this is now a 3-2 game.
Much the same goal that Minnesota just had in the upper right-hand corner of the net.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a lot more goals in this game, I think.
3-2 the score. Minnesota leads it.
Not too bad for a left fullback, I'd say, playing left wing.
That's right. Jimmy Polligan, his second goal of the game. Jimmy Polligan's 5th goal of the season. Don Draghi breaks it up. Here's Joe Horvat. Joe Horvat gets away from Ntsoelengoe and passes it out to Belon. Belon trying to outrace. Nope. Whistle.
They're calling the foul on Belon for holding Steve Litt. Belon doesn't agree, but the referee said you were holding him. Now here we can get a look at the foul. They're running. Belon, no, we haven't got Belon. Now it comes off Steve Litt's foot, and they're racing for it. And it looks like Belon did bump him.
I think the ref made a good call.
I think he did too.
Uh-oh, look out. Here's a shot. Winding up. Nice save by Reyes Villar. Reyes Villar cut off the angle. Bounced off his chest. Here's the Lancers coming back. Trifunovic tried to get it over to Horvat.
Almost.
Now they stop and argue about it a little bit. Broken up. Here comes Ntsoelengoe back. Ntsoelengoe. Lancers caught upfield. Here's a pass over to the right-hand side. Here comes West. West with a little chipper over this, and it's knocked away by Mijatovic.
And Ellen West and Ntsoelengoe work so well together, like two ballet dancers, back and forth and quick one-touch passes, Ron. It's really a delight to watch those two players move the ball.
It'll be a corner for Minnesota. They're 4th of the game, 1st of the second half. Here it comes. Inside. Gets over in the far corner. That's Litt. Litt with Jimmy Polligan. Here's a header. Score!
Well, Charlie George placed himself at the far end. Foslick and Spillar are discussing it. I thought definitely that here comes now. We can see the ball. Polligan is marking Steve Litt. Litt gets free, comes around, and with his right foot crosses it over right in front of the goal mouth. And Foslick doesn't jump, and Charlie George just hits it at the foot of Villar, and it goes off Villar's foot and into the goal. It's now 4-2.
First bad goal of the game.
That was a bad goal.
Yeah, that was a bad goal. You know, you can see the error was on somebody's part that time.
Well, there's a whistle. You would think they would give the advantage to Rochester. Well, what is it?
It could have been the advantage. He had the ball in his foot, but they didn't call the advantage.
All right. Here's the kick. And it's wide right by Palmieri. 33-35 left in regulation. Hold it. What do we have here? Okay. Soccer 78 will continue right after this.
When do you say Budweiser?
After doing this about 3,000 times a day. After a hard tennis match with my friend Ron. As soon as I knock this ball out of the park.
When do you say Budweiser?
It's everywhere.
When my mother-in-law leaves town. After a long night in here.
Or when you say Budweiser.
Let me hear you say it, people.
Budweiser. You have said it all.
How does America spell relief?
In Detroit, for heartburn, we spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief. In this test with Rolaids active ingredient, laboratory acid changes color to prove Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. How does America spell relief?
In Albuquerque, for gas or acid indigestion, we spell it R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
All over America, Rolaids spells relief.
Okay, back we are with a corner kick for the Lancers. There's a shot just over the bar. You didn't miss anything while we were away. We had Jeff Barnett down with an injury. This clock was stopped. 33-16 left. Lancers then with the corner.
And tomorrow we'll be winging back, so we're all ready for Friday's big game against the New England T-Men at 8 o'clock at Hollander Stadium, where you can see Big Mike Flanagan, the premier scorer in the league. And for your convenience and for your economy, you can save a lot of money, a $20 value, 2 adult and 2 children's tickets, plus the Lancer magazine for just $12 if you call the office at 232-2420 and order the family pack right now.
In fact, the matter is Flanagan just scored another goal as New England leads the Cosmos 1-0. So New England leads the Cosmos 1-0 in the Meadowlands, and it was scored unassisted at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So it's certainly going to be interesting having New England and Mick Flanagan in Rochester Friday night.
Well, we beat him last time in the shootout, but if you'll remember, Flanagan scored a couple of goals in that game. He was offsides, and they didn't count, but he's really been putting him in. Here come the Lancers back. They're down 4-2. Palmieri broke it up by Minnesota. Minnesota coming back now. They have a 2-goal lead. Jimmy Polligan scoring both Lancer goals, one in the first half and one here in the second half. 2 goals so far in the second half. Minnesota has it. Here's the cross inside.
Ooh.
Knocked away by Niccolini, and there's a shot wide left. That was Charlie George, who's already scored 1 goal tonight.
He really got that shot off. It was a hard shot. Another one could have deflected either way.
Scalar gets it out. Here comes Bailon over to take it. Bailon gets it to Polligan. Jimmy Polligan down the left wing. Jimmy Polligan being marked by 2 men. And Minnesota gets it away, but Bailon has it. Here's Bailon. Bailon to Trifunovic. Trifunovic pushed away. No whistle.
No call.
Trifunovic still has it. Here's Trifunovic. Broken up by Minnesota. That's Steve Litt. Steve Litt brings it back. And Don Draghi has it hit him in the back.
He did a little bit of a pirouette there and sort of collected it with his foot.
Lancers standing still at the moment. Nobody penetrating. Here's Ntsoelengoe coming back. Ntsoelengoe gets it over to Moran. Moran back to Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe looking around. Shot. Bad pass. Niccolini. Niccolini to Palmieri. Here's Palmieri. He has Ercole down the right side. We haven't seen too much of Pat today.
No, Pat hasn't been really in the play as much as we would imagine him to be.
Most of the action has been down the left side with Jimmy Polligan and over center.
He's been closely marked by Bruce Twamley most of the night.
Here's Morgan with a cross. Knocked away. And it'll be a throw-in for Minnesota. 29:46 left in regulation. Kicks leading it 4-2. There it is, the Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe with a nice pass over to West. Here's West winding up. Gets it into Willie.
What a nice pass.
What a pass. Beautiful pass.
Willie couldn't quite get possession of it. He's a guy that scored 17 goals for these guys this year.
Don Draghi came over very, very smartly, though, and physicaled out, muscled out George before he could get a shot off.
Minnesota coming back again. This is Ntsoelengoe again. Nice pass over on the right-hand side. There's nice play by Don Draghi. Headed it away. Stepped in over there. Moran still has it. Moran to Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe always around the ball. Here's Ntsoelengoe breaking down the right-hand side. He centers it. Wide right. 28:51 left in regulation. Lancer Soccer 78 will continue right after these messages.
Hey guys, Grandma's got a surprise for you. There's a whole batch of them. How many are there?
12. Come on, come on, come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on, come on, come on and have a Pepsi day. The laughter of a world at play. Memories of a Pepsi day. Come on and have a Pepsi day.
Following an exciting week of shows from West Virginia, we move to Charleston with Althea Flint. And via videotape to the hospital bed of Hustler magazine publisher Larry Flint, who was shot recently on the streets of Georgia by an unknown assailant. They will discuss how his conversion as a born-again Christian and the shooting have changed their lives, and will it change their magazine? Join us.
Back at Met Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, this is Baylon moving in for the Lancers. Baylon gets around a shot, and it's high, wide left. Did it deflect off?
I think he's calling for a corner kick. Yes, it deflected off. I think Jeff Barnett will take a look at it now. Baylon faking to the right, then cutting in right now. He should cut into the left. There he is, cutting left. Let the shot go and just touch Jeff Barnett's hand as he pushed it over.
Okay, back live. Here's the corner. Knocked away by the kicks. It'll be a throw-in for the Lancers. Haven't had much luck with our corners.
I don't think we've scored a goal off a corner yet this season.
Yes, we did against the Cosmos, but the only one when Bellotta scored.
No, that wasn't. That was an indirect kick.
That was an indirect kick, wasn't it?
Yeah. We keep on thinking it was a corner.
Yeah, that's right. Ntsoelengoe broken up by Mijatovic. Mijatovic bringing it back. Counterattack for the Lancers. Jimmy Polligan already with 2 goals in the game so far. Jimmy Polligan passes inside. Here's Ercole. Ercole out to Baylon. Baylon being marked from behind. Gets it over to Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy moving in. Here's a shot. It'll be a corner.
Good penetration by the Lancers that time, I thought. Move the ball around unselfishly. Baylon, Polligan, Ercole. And we have it on the replay. We can see it now. That's Ercole pushing the ball back to Baylon. Baylon using his strength to push it to Polligan. Polligan penetrating, letting it go, and then the shot being blocked. And now here comes the corner kick. It looks like there's going to be a substitution. That's why we're hesitating for a minute. Ibrahim Silva is coming in, and it looks like he'll be replacing Val Trifunovic, who is coming off hobbling on his right leg a bit. It seems like his right leg, which is heavily taped. I just noticed it, Jack. Did you notice it? His right leg had been taped before?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, he had it covered with his socks.
So now we have Ibrahim Silva, which would give us a little more speed in the midfield, and we'll see how that develops. There's still a lot of time. 26-12 left in the game, Ron.
Oh, sure.
And they're lining up for the kick.
Here's the corner. Here it is. Nobody there for the Lancers. Nice little scissors, but right to Barnett.
Couldn't get much on it, though.
No.
26 minutes exactly left in regulation. The kick's leading it 4-2.
We have it on the replay. We have the corner kick as it comes off, crossed over now, and then headed out. Ercole taps it over Niccolini. Niccolini with a scissor kick with his right foot, but drops in. Jeff Barnett's there to pick it up.
Back live in Minnesota coming back now. They lead it by 2, 4-2. High scoring match. This is Sam Bick. Bick inside, tried to get it to West. Ntsoelengoe has it. Back to West and over to Morgan. Morgan scored 1 goal so far in the game. His first one of the season. Here's Morgan, that same type of play. Looked like a handball there.
I couldn't see whose hand it was.
Have to be impressed with Minnesota's patience on offense. Wait for the open man.
Sure, wait. Good passing. And really, it's been an exciting match.
Uh-oh, we got a whistle.
Yeah, the penalty is called against Minnesota for pushing
just outside the penalty area.
Palmieri, and this is a great opportunity for Joe Horvath, who likes to hit him from here.
We get a timeout.
Here's the foul. We can see it now. It's Palmieri penetrating. Palmieri letting it go. The rebound back. Palmieri being knocked down by West, Alan West, number 10. Good camera work. Good stack. Good crew we're working with.
Pat Ercole down.
Pat Ercole's down. It's probably a good time for a commercial.
We can't afford too many more people out.
Sure.
All right.
We'll have to get Popovich.
I'll tell you what, Charlie. It's 24:50. The clock is stopped. Atlanta Soccer 78 will continue in a moment right after
this. The day is done.
Come in. Chilly tonight. Looking good.
To let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say bud.
Say bud.
And for the king of beers and settle back and please yourself.
Hey, thanks.
How'd it go today?
So far, so good.
Time still out. Pat Erkley still down. Joe Suriani looking after him. But Pat Erkley up now. Seems to be okay. And the Lancers.
It looks like a
Well,
three
a
or
good
four man
opportunity
wall.
here.
Sorry, Ron.
That's all right.
I
Excuse
thought
me.
it was a 3 or 4 man wall. I can't tell.
Time back in. Here's Joe Horvath with a shot. Nope, a little bit
he
high
just
and wide. Just over the
misses.
corner.
Good shot.
Yep.
Well placed.
Just high.
So that'll be a goal kick for Minnesota.
Of course, the Minnesota Kicks come to Howler Stadium, our home and home, next Tuesday night.
Our continuation of playing first division, first place teams in each division.
Parade of terror here.
Well, Barnett taking his time. He's in no hurry. There's 24 minutes left. And they have a good lead. 2 goals, 4-2. Still plenty of time for the Lancers to come back.
Friday night, we hope to see you at Howler Stadium when the Lancers take on the first place New England T-Men. And a $20 value is yours for just $12 if you call the Lancer office right now at 232-2420.
Some nice work there by Miriam Foslich. This is Pat Erkley to Baylon. Gets it into Silva. Here's Silva moving around the shot. Beautiful save by Barnett.
What a great
That is the save of the game right there.
Right there, Jeff Barnett. He earned his salary on this one. Look at this.
Save of the game.
Watch this play. Here comes Erkley. Touches it over to Silva. Silva missed it. Now Silva gets it, and Silva lets go to his right foot, and there's Jeff Barnett, and it was a hard shot by Silva.
Well, Lancers still penetrating, still have it. There's a bad pass. Okay, Minnesota coming back. George has it, gets it over to West. West moving in, and it's in amongst the feet of Miriam Foslich. Always around the ball. Don't forget, at the end of the game, we'll be picking our all-tier player of the game. Lancer player of the game, that is.
Lancer player of the game. Seems to be a little gust of wind coming there. I hope that tornado watch is really over.
The wind is shifted from, it was blowing from left to right cross field, and now it's blowing just the opposite. Willie gets it back to Ntsoelengoe in Minnesota, taking their time.
They're going to spread it out. They're going to do just what the Cosmos did in the game Friday night in Rochester. They have the lead, and what they'll do, they'll pass the ball around and try and tire the Lancers by just spreading out and putting the ball around.
That was deflected away. Excuse me, Charlie.
It's a very effective program when you have a 2-goal lead.
Well, we would do the same thing if we had that 2-goal lead.
Oh, it's good soccer. It's good soccer. There's no doubt about it. Good strategy. Our job is just to go out there and try and get the ball away from them.
All right. They're penetrating now. That was West. Looked like he was ready to trigger it. Here's a header. Oh, nice save by Spilar.
West is really the quarterback of the Kicks. Let's take another look.
Now here comes West. He's penetrating, passes it off. It's on the side. Now it's Willie Morgan who crosses nicely in the middle, and there's Charlie George, but a good save by Svilar. Ball bounced off his chest.
Well, we're back live. Minnesota bringing it back. This is the captain, Alan Merrick. Goes over to Tony Want. Tony Want gets it to Charlie George. George moving over center.
Well, we have our attendance figure on 24,443 tonight.
Good crowd on hand. Look out. Keeps it in, or does he? Nope, he doesn't.
It's going to be a corner kick, Minnesota.
Minnesota leading it 4-2, 20 minutes, 48 seconds. Here's the shot. Headed away by Pat Erkley. Here's Baylon coming back. Baylon still moving. Baylon over to the right. To Silva. Here's Silva with a little chip shot. Wide left.
Oh, Silva
Gives
really
a nice hand.
had a good position there to chip it in. Just missed with the shot.
Well, Minnesota still leads it 4-2. And Lancers Soccer 78 will continue right after these messages.
When the sun's going down and you've worked up a big summer appetite, it's time for a get-together at Mr. Steak.
Get together with chicken. Get together with Steak America.
It's Mr. Steak's summertime steak and chicken get-together. Tender breast of barbecued chicken and Mr. Steak's famous USDA choice steak. Served together by America's steak expert.
Get them together at Mr. Steak.
Steak and barbecue chicken, only $4.95 at Mr. Steak.
Okay, everybody, stay back. Hey, that liquid stuff can be dangerous. What else can I do? Go solid.
What?
New Zip. It's a solid idea. Zip? What's that?
It's a safe and solid way to start a fire. It's a solid, so there's no danger of spilled kerosene. Just chip off a couple of cubes, mix them in with the charcoal, and zip. The fire starts. Want some?
If you don't mind.
Thanks for the tip about Zip.
New Zip, a solid idea.
While away on the commercial, Miralem Fosdick's being attended to. There was a fine action play, and we'll pick it up now. Here he comes, Steve Litt with a long pass downfield. Miralem Fosdick is playing Charlie George on this one as it comes into focus now. You'll see they're both fighting for the ball, but George is ahead of Fosdick. The ball comes off Svilar. George goes for it. Look at what Svilar does, fighting. And finally it goes off Charlie George's ankle, but both teams are going end-to-end, full blast. Fosdick is down on the ground, appears to be injured. They're taking care of his ankle. We can think it's his ankle as we look. Yes, it is his right ankle. Trainer Joe Sirianni is tending to him. Fosdick is down. We don't see anybody warming up, so imagine he'll keep up.
All right, Charlie, this will give us a chance to take another break as Lancer Soccer 70 will continue with 1935 left in regulation.
Here's 100 years of tradition coming at you.
Here comes the king. Here comes the king. Here comes the big number one. Here comes the king. Budweiser beer, the king is second to none. When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all.
Well, there's still time out in the field. 19:35 left in regulation. We're at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. It looks like Fosdick is now up and walking it off with Joe Sirianni.
Well, he made a tough run that time. Charlie George, of course, is one of the premier center forwards in this league and in the British First Division. So you know, a tough man to play against.
Derby County, George, where they produce nothing but fine soccer players, and the English teams, New England, Minnesota, and Philadelphia, seem to be importing them at a great rate. We were reading an article that said the people happiest about the invasion are the airlines that are flying them over.
Joe Horvath, one of the stellar players of the Lancers. You know, he was captain of the national team when he played in Hungary in '75. He fled Hungary, fled the communist-dominated country. Now wants to stay in the United States, applying for citizenship, and we hope that he'll have a long career with the Rochester Lancers.
Play back in, Charlie. 19:33 left in regulation. Here's Fosdick. Doesn't
He's
look
certainly
like there's anything
recovered
wrong with him, does it? But he loses it.
Joe's magic spray does it every time.
It's the massage. That's what it is.
Okay, Minnesota coming up, coming back. Both teams with a little bit of a rush there. Looks like it might be a corner.
Corner kick. Mijatovic. Looks like Willie Morgan will take it, number 7.
Willie Morgan scored his first goal of the season tonight, as did Mark Moran.
Yeah. There's that famous 3-man wall of Minnesota.
Here it is. Comes to the Lancers. Here's Silva. Silva still playing with that cast on his left hand. Long pass down to Ercole. Ercole stays on sides. Gets it back to Joe Horvath. Horvath by himself. Horvath moving in. He's got Baylone. He gets it to Ercole. Little give and go. Back to Horvath, and it's headed away. But Lancers still have it. Here's a shot. And it goes wide right.
The wind has become a factor, and it did push that one off to the right, Ron.
That's the way the wind is blowing right now, and it's blowing along pretty briskly. 18:22 left in regulation.
Yeah, if we have time, Ron, we'd like to give the Lancers official press ratings. And if we get time, we'll try and flash that on the screen later, maybe one of the breaks if there are any injuries. We'll give you our impression of the official Lancer press ratings based on 4 stars for excellent, 3 stars for superior, 2 stars for very good, and 1 star for poor. Well, here we go. Here's the attack right now.
Okay, Minnesota. There's a shot. Nice save by Svilar. And Svilar gets it out to Palmieri. Palmieri being marked by Ntsoelengoe. Gets it over to Pat Ercole. Ercole gets away. And it goes all the way down to Barnett.
He was trying to feed Ibrahim Silva, and Silva was just, it was a hard pass, and Silva just couldn't get to it. But a good thought, very constructive.
Alan Merrick now has it. Gets it back to Barnett. This is a press rating, what, for newspaper?
Newspaper writers.
I see.
And we have it, we'll try and show it when we get a break here.
Okay. Here's Ntsoelengoe. Oh, and he loses it. That was actually West that lost it, but he gets it back. Here's West moving in. West.
Great ball control.
Look at that passing.
He gets it over on the left-hand side. George. There goes back to West again. Hits Ntsoelengoe. He's got another shot. Here's Don Draghi. Draghi gets it out of trouble.
He had to do that.
Because Willie Morgan is right down his back.
There'll be a corner kick, and Willie Morgan setting it up again. They just manhandle that flag, and they just point it any way they want to.
Yeah, Joe Horvath moves it the other way, and there it is. Here it is, and Svilar comes out and makes a save. Pitches it out to Silva, and Silva's on the move. He has Ntsoelengoe right behind him. He has to put the brakes on, and he starts up again. He's got Niccolini behind him, and he's got Bailon in front of him. Here's Niccolini overlapping. Niccolini, little chipper. Goes to nobody. Nobody except Sam Bick of Minnesota. And Ntsoelengoe gets it back to Barnett.
It's one weakness of Hugh Niccolini is his passing, but you really have to give him a lot of credit because he's playing out of position. He's a sweeper. He plays the Foslick's position, and we wanted him because if there was injury for Foslick or Mihatovic, he'd be an excellent reporter, but now we played him at 3 different positions, and he does a good job either way.
And he holds his own at halfback. Here's Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe gets it back to Captain Alan Merrick.
Look how they have them spread out, Ron. There.
Yep. Comes Sam Bick. Sam Bick gets it back to Merrick. Knocked away by Horvath. That's Steve Litt.
Now Steve Litt is down.
No, he's down.
Apparently he has an injury. Maybe we can have our official press ratings now. These are, we have these ratings. Let's take a look at them now. Bob Matthews of the TU comes out with 3 stars. Gary Jacobson of the Times-Union, well, I think he officially had a 2-star rating. Yes, Gary Jacobson had a 2-star rating. There's been a mistake in our video. That is, no, it's a 3-star. Gary Jacobson is a 3-star. That's corrected. Mike Lewis, a 2.5-star. Bruno Snyder of the Democratic Chronicle gets a 0.5 star, and Rudy Marski of the Democratic Chronicle, he also gets a 0.5 star. Now, Jack, as our color man, how do you rate those stars?
Well, I think you're going to see some other stars over a short period of time.
Well, those are the official Lancers press ratings based upon, what has been written and the quality of the writing, and I think they've been fair.
Sure.
Bob Matthews gets a 3, which it was excellent, and Gary Jacobson gets a 3, and very good from Mike Lewis, a 2.5, and then Bruno and what's his name, Rudy, and the Rudy Awards get a 0.5 star apiece.
Okay, Minnesota.
That's called turnabout is unfair play, right?
That was called, I'm not certain.
We need a couple of goals right now. That was Joe Horvath trying to break it through, trying to get it over to Jimmy Polligan. Lancers down 4-2 with 14:49 left in regulation. Jimmy Polligan has scored both goals for the Lancers. Altiers will be awarding a gift certificate to the Lancer Player of the Game. They do that every week. Here's West. over to Ntsoelengoe. Ntsoelengoe. Here's Ellen Merrick. Ellen Merrick inside to Willie. Willie hasn't seen too much action in this match. He's the one that's got 17 goals for Minnesota. Nice tackle.
That's Silva on the left side now. He's moved over from the right to left, and Jim Pollahan's at the right wing position. They've exchanged positions, and they put Ercole in the midfield.
Right now we got a battle over there, and it's going to be a Lancer throw-in.
Someone's warming up. They're going to, for the Minnesota Kicks, they're bringing in, it looks like Greg Vela, the American, forward.
Here come the Lancers back now. Over to Baylone. Baylone. Here's Foslich. Foslich moving in.
Nice pass.
Nice give and go and a shot. Oh, wide right.
Foslich.
Nice play.
And it's going to be a corner kick, apparently. They've called the corner. Someone received a piece of that. I don't know who, but a very fine give and go, or a wall pass, as it's called in soccer. And we have it on the replay. We can see Foslich making a brilliant penetration, right foot pass to Horvath. Horvath one touches it, and there it is. Good shot, but someone made a sliding tackle there and touched the ball just before Foslich hit it. But that really is a creative move, I thought, by Foslich.
Here's the corner. Horvath. Deflected away by Barnett. Horvath still has it. Here comes Horvath. Horvath over to Draghi. Oh, nice scissors in there by somebody.
Looks
Who
like
was it, Ercole?
Ercole.
Yeah.
Ercole. Just a little wide. Lancers really have kept on attacking, kept building a positive attack, even though they're down by 2 goals. It's good to see the positive, creative work the Lancers are doing. And this has been a magnificent game, and you just have to admire both teams. They've given quite a bit. Jack, how did you see it that way?
Well, I really expected more of a defensive game, but the first 2 quick goals by the Kicks opened it right up.
I thought they did too.
It's been a very exciting game to watch.
What did I tell you at the beginning of the game? I expected a very low-scoring game, very close game.
Yeah, you did too, Ron, and so did I, as a matter of fact. But that ace Ntsoelengoe is the fellow that really opened it up, I think.
We've only had 1 bad goal, really. Oh!
It's offsides, and you know, everybody stopped because they all saw the flag up. And
everybody but Willie. He wanted his 18th goal.
Yeah, he's really hungry for it. Number 9, Willie, Ellen Willie the Dodger.
The Dodger.
He had 2 hat tricks in 1977, scored 3 goals on 2 successive occasions, played for Middlesbrough and scored 39 points, led the Kicks in 77 with 39 points, and that is quite a few points to score. So they've got a cheering section here.
Well, they have a lot to cheer about right now. Their Kicks are up by 2 goals. Score is 4-2. What are they saying?
Saying hoy, 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 whatever that means.
Hoy, hoy, hoy. They're ordering a Chinese dinner.
Oh, I see.
I think it should be soy,
That's
soy,
right.
soy.
Soy, soy, soy.
That was compliments of Elliot Terrell, who was our producer and director.
That was Elliot's
producer.
I'll say
thought of the night.
Another fine job tonight. Comes the Lancers. Here's Baylone. Horvath breaking in. He'll be offside, so everybody's offsides right now. Here's Silva. Silva gets around it. A shot by Silva. Might be a corner.
I thought it hit an orange shirt, but
sure did look like it.
Mike Word said no.
Sure did look like it.
This is
He had Ercole wide open on that one on the wing. Let's take a peek.
Take a peek at it. There's Silva taking the right-handed shot, and it didn't hit anybody. Right-footed shot, rather. Sam Bick making that. No, it's not. It's Alan Willie.
They're taking the time. There's a long pass. Here's Ntsoelengoe. Oh, he's offsides. He was offsides by about 5 feet, I guess. Uh-oh. Ooh. Ercole lost it to Ntsoelengoe. And Palmieri gets it right back for the Lancers. Here's Silva breaking in. Nice lead pass. A little bit too much left.
Jeff Barnett wants everybody to move out. Apparently he's going to kick it out.
9:23 left in regulation. The Kicks leading the Lancers 4-2. Both teams scoring.
Jeff's got quite a leg.
Yes, he does. He showed that earlier. There's Villar coming out to make the save. And he gets it out to Niccolini. Here's Hugh passing it over to Pat Ercole. Ercole in the center. A lot of room down center. Tries to get it over to Horvath. Got by Horvath. Then it goes back once again to Barnett. And Minnesota's coming back.
Now Joe Horvath has moved to the left wing position, and Polligan has dropped into the midfield to give some support.
You see Joe battling away there.
And the foul is on Willie Morgan that time.
Here's Don Dregge over to Palmieri. Lancers trying to get back in here. 8 minutes left. 8:25 exactly. Here's Palmieri getting around Ntsoelengoe. He gets it inside. Ercole. Ercole over to Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy Polligan looking for somebody. Spots Horvath over the left-hand side. Horvath with a cross. And Barnett comes out. Take control. Well, they're rooting over it on the right here.
Nelson Capello is warming up on the sidelines. We don't know who he'll come in for, but there's only 7:54 left. He's actively warming up, as is Greg Vela for Minnesota.
I think they take turns on each side here to see who can yell the loudest.
They're doing a good job,
Yes,
I'll
they
tell
are.
you.
So we have over 24,000 here at Met Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Ntsoelengoe. Lancers get it back. Here comes Palmieri back. Nice pass over to Jimmy Polligan. Here comes Jimmy. Jimmy breaking in. Still has it. Deflected away. It'll be a throw in for the Lancers. There's Coach Popovich over there telling his boys, don't give up, keep going. Still have 7 minutes left. We have a whistle and a timeout.
Oh, as Jimmy Roth is warming up now, Nelson Capello is coming in. And
Looks like
Mirlan Foslick is
Mirlan
leaving.
is limping off.
Ercole is coming off, and Jimmy Roth is getting a chance. Number 21, the American from St. Louis, Missouri. We have a corner kick.
Will Niccolini move over to Foslick's spot?
I don't think so. Niccolini will stay his position. Capello will play the stopper, and Nick Mijatovic will play the sweeper. As you see him line up now in the field.
6:26 left in regulation. Kicks leading it by a score 4-2. Here's a pass over to Sam Bick. Bick bringing it down the right-hand side. Here's Nelson Capello. Capello to Bailon, who loses it. Tried to give Nelson a give and go there, but was intercepted by Minnesota. West has it now. Moran gets it over to Tony Watt. And this is Steve Litt passing it over to Merrick. And they're back all the way back into the Lancers zone.
They're going to have to go get it.
5:39 left in regulation. Minnesota in no hurry at all.
Jeff Barnett must have put that ball 70 yards in the air.
Did. Here comes Morgan. Morgan racing in. Morgan with a shot. Knocked away by Niccolini. Here's Silva heading it away. Silva gets it back, but to the wrong man. It goes to Morgan. Ntsoelengoe. Here's Minnesota penetrating once again. Give and go. Ntsoelengoe shoots, and a save by Villar. Minnesota picking it up once again. Here's Horvath.
Here it is. can see it on the Ntsoelengoe now, piercing in on the left. Coming in, there is Ntsoelengoe. He makes a shot with his left foot. And a nice save by Ray Villar. And they're cheering here. The whole stadium is shaking. The excitement of 25,000 fans is bringing the thunder.
There's a shot. Broken up on Mijatovic. I thought a train went by.
I thought a train went by. They're all jumping up and down and storming. They are really alive here in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Here's Bailon. Bailon gets it over to Palmieri. Back to Bailon. Bailon moving in. Bailon passes it off to the left-hand side to Silva. Here's Silva. Silva with a burst of speed. Gets around one man. A shot by Palmieri is high. And under the fence.
Palmieri's been shooting rather high and wide tonight. And somebody else is down the field there.
Clock is stopped with 4:03. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll take a break here while the clock is stopped with 4:03 left in regulation. Lancer Soccer 78 will continue with the Kicks on top, 4-2.
This giant flowering A in the yard of Doc and Katie Abraham as a reminder for you to join us on our next program. We'll be talking about flowers in the yard with Doc and Katie Abraham in Naples, New York. We're on location all this week with Doc and Katie, our Green Thumb friends and experts. So if you'd like to know all about perennials and annuals, well, the place to be, AM Rochester at 10.
We have 3:51 left in regulation. The Kicks leading it by a score of 4-2. And the crowd going wild again here in Minnesota. Almost 25,000 on hand. Goes back to Spilar. Spilar has it. And Spilar kicks it away.
We have a statistic at this point. It shows that at this point in the game, Rochester has outshot Minnesota 23-16. It's been a very, very exciting, offensive-minded game, and they just put 2 more in than we did, and that's all it's been all about here.
It's been a fine game all the way around. Some fine goals. Oh, a nice play by Ntsoelengoe. How about that? Oh, here's a shot. Tried to go for the left-hand corner and shot it wide.
3:01 remaining, and you ought to pick
Let's take a look at this Charlie George shot with his left foot. It was a beauty.
Ace Ntsoelengoe with heel passes it back. Penetration, there's a cross now. Charlie George stops, turns around, lets it go with his left foot, just wide.
Got just a little bit too fancy on that.
Good passing, though.
Yep. I think that's what they were doing, just kind of passing it around.
And are you going to pick the Altier star of the game now?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. The Lancer star of the game will be Jimmy Polligan. Jimmy Polligan, who scored both Lancer goals. And Jimmy will receive a gift certificate from
There's West.
Here's a shot broken up by Mijatovic,
who was the all-star midfielder last year and been injured.
Here's Silva. 2:07 left. Silva moving in. Here's Silva the shot. Oh, just wide left.
I can't believe that
Missed
shot
by inches.
missed. It just had a miss by inches, the far post. A fine penetration by Ibrahim Silva.
If it had gone straight, it would have gone in. It was just curving left.
Here he is, the Altier star of the game, coming on the screen right now, Jimmy Polligan, graduate of Quincy State, moved from left fullback to left wing, scored 2 goals, his 4th and 5th of the season, several assists, just playing magnificent soccer.
Here's George. George gets it back to West. Here's West passing it over to the right wing. But he gets it a little bit behind Morgan. Minnesota looking for one more. That's Horvat slipping. Gets it out to Mijanovic. There's only 1:08 left.
Remember, fans, hope to see you at Hollander Stadium. See if some home cooking can revive our Rochester Lancers against the New England T-Men Friday night. A special package available to you worth $20. It costs you just $12 if you call the Lancer
Here's
office.
Moran going in with a shot, and it's saved by Barnett.
Good penetration by Julio Balan, who cracked through and let it go. But the angle was covered. The corner was covered. We have it on a replay. Julio Balan, number 22, big and strong, puts it through the legs of Alan Merrick. Lets it go with his right foot, but Jeff Barnett is there and covers the corner.
Clock winding down, less than 30 seconds, 26 seconds left, and the Lancers will pick up only 2 points tonight. Never did get that Toronto score. Here's the pass inside to Willie.
That's the game.
13 seconds left.
Yeah, and that was not over with yet.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. Final score will be Minnesota 4 and the Rochester Lancers 2. On behalf of Jack Palvino, Charlie Schiano, this is Ron DeFrance saying so long, everybody. Final score, the Kicks 4 and the Lancers 2.
This has been Rochester Lancer Soccer, live via satellite from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota.
The King of Sports was presented by the King of Beers. Soccer at its best. Brought to you by Budweiser.
And by the RT French Company, the Rochester-based company that makes French's mustard. The kind that outsells all others combined. French's mustard, spread a little sunshine. And by Security Trust, nearest your needs at 35 neighborhood locations. And by Mr. Steak, America's steak expert in Greece, Henrietta, and Irondequoit. Mr. Steak, a fancy restaurant dinner without the fancy price.
Save at Wegmans.